This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
In today's top stories, Algeria and Tunisia have signed a number of accords in several fields as part of the holding of the 22nd session of the Grand Algerian-Tunisian Joint Commission here in Algiers. The spokesman of the U.S. Department of State, Matthew Miller, said that the U.S. and Algeria were partners in solving crises, notably in the Sahel region, expressing his country's will to work together with Algeria as she takes a seat of the UN Security Council next year. It is the first in the history of the U.S. Congress. The Republican leader of the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, was ousted from his post on Tuesday. Hello and welcome on Radio Algeria International. Algeria and Tunisia have signed a number of accords in several fields as part of the holding of the 22nd session of the Grand Algerian-Tunisian Joint Commission here in Algiers. The 22nd meeting was co-chaired by the Prime Minister, Mr. Ayman Ben Abdelrahman, and the head of the Tunisian government, Mr. Ahmed Hashemi, co-chaired. At the start of the proceedings, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Mr. Ahmed Attaf, who presented a summary of the main results of the work of the monitoring committee that he co-chaired on Tuesday with his Tunisian counterpart, Nabil Ammar, in preparation for the 22nd session of the Algerian-Tunisian Grand Joint Committee. In the light of the results of this, Mr. Attaf pointed out that cooperation between Algeria and Tunisia has taken some encouraging steps which should be held, noting the promising prospects for Algerian-Tunisian relations between the two peoples. For his part, the Tunisian minister underlined the importance of the results of the preparatory meeting in the interests of both countries and peoples, hailing the atmosphere in which the meeting took place. He also stressed the importance of raising bilateral cooperation relations to higher levels. Meanwhile, the Algerian-Tunisian Economic Forum is continuing today in Algiers under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister, Mr. Ayman Ben Abdelrahman, and the head of the Tunisian government, Ahmed Hashemi. On the program of the second and final day of this forum, which is being held at the International Center for Conferences, Abdellatif Rahal, includes a series of B2B meetings between Algerian businessmen and their Tunisian counterparts to explore opportunities for cooperation and partnership in various fields. On the first day, Mr. Ayman Ben Abdelrahman said that all the conditions had been met for a new start of the bilateral partnership forum this room and from tomorrow during bilateral meetings with a view to establishing fruitful partnerships, forging permanent business links and in concluding mutually beneficial contracts. More in this report by Saeed Bouhazi.
The Prime Minister expressed his conviction that this forum will mark the beginning of a new era in economic and trade relations between the two countries, between Algerian operators and investors and their Tunisian brothers. Ayman Ben Abdelrahman pointed out that Tunisia is a neighboring country with which we enjoy historic relations and strong, diverse socio-cultural ties, in addition to our excellent political relations, which are an example of excellence in the Arab and African regions, adding that Tunisia is one of Algeria's most important economic partners in terms of the volume of investment and trade. In terms of trade, Algeria is Tunisia's most important trading partner in Africa and the Arab world, he pointed out, noting that during the first 7 months of the current year, trade between the two countries rose by 54%. This figure, he continued, should increase in the months and years to come, thanks to our joint efforts to coordinate policies and iron out difficulties of all kinds. For his part, the head of the Tunisian government, Ahmed Hashemi, affirmed the importance of achieving a strategic partnership between Tunisia and Algeria in view of the current international changes. Ahmed Hashemi, who co-chaired the opening of the Algerian-Tunisian Economic Business Forum with Prime Minister Ayman Ben Abdelrahman, described Algerian-Tunisian relations as exemplary and historic, adding that we are proud and satisfied with the level of cooperation between the two countries and remain convinced that trade and economic cooperation can be improved. On this occasion, he reaffirmed the need to speed up the setting up of a joint working group charged with examining the updating of the preferential trade agreement so that it can hold its first meetings before the end of the current year, expressing his wish to see this working group hold a technical meeting to examine the creation of a free zone along the border strip between the two countries.
In a speech delivered on this occasion, Mr. Attaf said that the Commission's work was of a special nature in terms of Algerian-Tunisian relations rooted in all the milestones in the history of the two countries, and which today extend to all mutually beneficial sectors and fields towards a promising future with greater political understanding, economic complementarity, and social cohesion.
في إطار التحضير وأود في هذا المقام.
In this regard, I would like to particularly praise the identification of new fields of bilateral cooperation and the start of taking advantage of their abundant potential, especially with regard to the development of border areas, the exploration and production of hydrocarbons, the promotion of desert tourism, as well as the exploitation of shared groundwater resources. These are areas that are added to the traditional fields of cooperation that include most of the economic, social, and humanitarian aspects, all of which remind us of the elements of rapprochement and the qualifications of integration that make Algerian-Tunisian relations exceptional by all standards and with all the feasibility and meaning that this description carries.
ما يحمله هذا الوصف من جدوى وفحوى.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, today received here in Algiers his South Sudanese counterpart, James Petia Morgan, now on a visit in the country, where as part of the holding of the CEMEX Africa 2023 event, Mr. Morgan said the following.
Algeria was involved in following up the peace process in my country. Algeria is a member of the C5, so it is very important that Algeria has the role to play in stabilizing my region, my country. My country is one of the youngest countries in this continent, so I'm here for that purpose also, because it is also important to brief Algeria where we stand on the peace process that we signed as observers, as the follow-up on how the peace process is being implemented. And I'm here to inform our brothers and sisters in Algeria that the peace process has gone very well. Algeria also is becoming, in the next few months, as a member of the non-permanent Security Council. We have problems in this continent. In this continent, we need strong people to represent us. And when we are represented by strong people like Algeria, I think the continent will be happy. The continent will be fully represented.
Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, General Said Shingri, has presided over the opening of the VIP Day of the CEMEX Africa exercise in Algiers, intended for the states parties to the Chemical Weapons Convention in the African region. The Director General of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, Fernando Arias Gonzalez, highlighted the human and material resources devoted by Algeria to the success of this international event.
I wish to conclude by saluting the professionalism shown by all the parties involved in CEMEX Africa. Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Chief of Staff, Minister, dear friends, Algeria has once again been willing to take the leadership of diplomacy and multilateralism with this so well attended and successful event. I sincerely appreciate the hospitality we have received and the effort that has been made, and I wish to express my compliments to the authorities of Algeria for this event and for the success achieved.
You're listening to Radio Algeria International. More news. The Minister for Energy and Mines, Mohamed Erkab, is on a working visit to the Belgian capital, Brussels, as part of the 5th Annual High-Level Energy Dialogue between Algeria and the European Union, scheduled for Thursday. According to a press release issued by the ministry, the meeting will be co-chaired by Mr. Erkab and the European Commissioner for Energy, Ms. Kadri Simpson. The spokesman of the U.S. Department of State, Matthew Miller, said in the latest department press briefing in Washington that the U.S. and Algeria were partners in solving crises, notably in the Sahel region, expressing his country's will to work together with Algeria as she takes a seat on the UN Security Council next year.
We encourage Algeria to continue to work with ECOWAS, which is leading efforts to resolve the political crisis in Niger. The United States and Algeria partner closely and regularly on bilateral and regional priorities, including on shared efforts to de-escalate conflict and advance regional stability, and that includes in the Sahel. This was a topic during the Secretary's meeting with his Algerian counterpart on August 9th and during our meetings at UNGA, UN General Assembly. As Algeria takes a seat on the UN Security Council next year, we look forward to continuing to work together on this and other regional and global priorities.
That was the spokesman of the U.S. Department of State, Matthew Miller. Niger's Minister of the Interior has declared that France is not to leave Niger a week after French President Emmanuel Macron announced the withdrawal of French troops from the Sahelian country by the end of the year. These people are not in the logic of leaving Niger, asserted Interior Minister and General Mohamed Toumba at a meeting with civil society organizations, trade unions, religious and traditional leaders broadcast on national television. Some 1,500 French troops are present in Niger as part of the anti-terrorist campaign. Now, in the Western Sahara file, the representative of the Polisario Front of the United Nations and coordinator of the United Nations mission for the referendum in Western Sahara, MINURSO, Sidi Mohamed Omar, has said that the Sahrawi people will resolutely continue their legitimate struggle to wrest their independence and establish their sovereignty over the entire territory of the Sahrawi Republic, regardless of the content of the next Security Council resolution on the conflict in Western Sahara. More with Saeed Bougazi.
In an interview with Sahrawi television, Sidi Mohamed Omar said that the report to be submitted by the UN Secretary General to the Security Council on the situation in Western Sahara should reflect the recent developments in the Sahrawi issue at UN level. The new element will probably be the content of the visit made last September by the UN Secretary General's personal envoy for Western Sahara, Staffan de Mistura, to the occupied Sahrawi territories. He said, responding to a question on the expectations of the Sahrawi people from the Security Council, which is due to meet in October to examine the Secretary General's report and extend the mandate of MINURSO, the Polisario Front representative said that the Security Council is called upon to work seriously to relaunch the peace process by reactivating the mandate of the UN mission to enable it to do its job and organize a referendum allowing the Sahrawi people to freely exercise their inalienable and imprescriptible rights to self-determination and independence. In a statement last September, the Polisario Front representative to the United Nations maintained that the framework for a settlement already exists. This is the UN-AU settlement plan accepted by the two parties to the conflict, Polisario Front and Morocco, in 1988 and unanimously approved by the Security Council in 1991, he argued, underlining that all that is required is to bring together the conditions necessary for the implementation of this plan and to respect the results of the referendum, which is the raison d'être of MINURSO in Western Sahara.
As you followed in our top stories, it is the first in the history of the U.S. Congress the Republican leader of the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, was ousted from his post on Tuesday.
On this vote, the yeas are 216, the nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Kevin McCarthy will not run for Speaker again after the House ousted him from the top leadership post in a historic vote on Tuesday, a move that threatens to plunge House Republicans into even further chaos and turmoil. The House will now need to elect a new Speaker. There is no clear alternative to McCarthy, who would have the support needed to win the gavel, but the race for a potential successor is already underway. Next, the second part of an interview with Algerian icon and singer Jamal Laroussi, made by Asabika. Our Talk. A weekly program with guests activated in different fields.
بويرة بسكرة جاية سوق هرستي جل غرداية باتنا خسنطينا الغواط ستفتي على التامن راست اشلف والطارق تندف بومردة سيدي بالعباس هضرة المعسكر وبشار تبساتي سمسيلت بليدة وتيبازار زينة 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 أرض بلادي زينة.
So, Jamal Laroussi, you've performed with renowned artists worldwide. As an example, you have toured with Stevie Wonder's band, and you played with many jazz musicians. What did such experiences add to your art?
It was great experiences, and in the same times, when I was already in Algeria, I used to play this music, like Stevie Wonder music and jazz music. And then when I was in Germany, I learned more about arrangements, about harmony, and so I understood quickly their music, and it was like a great experience. But I didn't learn much more than what I learned when I was alone. It was just great, of course. And of course, to play with Stevie Wonder, it was like a dream, because Stevie Wonder is like one of the best musicians of this century. And I used to play all his songs here. So when I
So you realized your dream.
Yes, it was not even. It was crazy, because I would never think that I will play one day with him. It's like completely ridiculous, And the guy who called me is a drummer who plays with a lot of musicians. It's called Guy Nwogong. He's a drummer, and he plays with Mani Dibango. He used to play with Mani Dibango, and he called me, and he told me, Jamal, Stevie Wonder is looking for you, I say no. I thought he was joking, because it was like just a message. And I said, Michael Jackson also. It was like this. They all ran after me, but I don't want to play with him. It was like we were just joking. And he called me again. He told me, no, really, he's looking like for people who make who have some success in like world music, like North African, South African, West African. So he was looking for these guys from Africa. And I was hired to play with him, so it was like a big honor for me. And it was like, in the same time, why me? It's crazy. Yeah. But why me? The answer is because if you are a little bit everywhere, so they notice you. If you stay at home, nobody will notice you. So they are like great musicians here in Algeria. I know really great musicians who are always at home, and they don't go to people, and they don't meet people, so nobody will know them.
Yeah.
So you have to move to be discovered.
So you are now a member of the band
Wildesholz.
Die Wildesholz. Thanks for helping me with the pronunciation. Tell us about it.
Yes, they are friends of mine. They used to come to my concerts when I was in Germany, and later on they had like this band, and they invited me to play as a guest with them. And then Anton, the guitar player, he had a heart attack, and he died, unfortunately, very, very young. And they asked me, it was like 2019 or something, to tour with them. But they play very much, they tour a lot, They have like at least 150 concerts in the year, like 200 concerts, They could play 250 concerts in the year. They play like crazy. So I was touring with them like 2019 and 2020 until the 13th of March, because then it was Corona. nobody
Pandemic,
could play a pandemic, yeah. And so we had like in 1.5 year like about like 200 concerts. It was really very much, too
Intense.
much. Yeah, intense. And now I'm not playing with them anymore. Just sometimes they call me just as a guest, special guest. Yeah.
So, Jamal Aroussi, let's talk about your new song.
Yes.
So you released a song entitled Mask, and you have just finished the filming of the music video in Al Bayt province here in Algeria. Tell us about this song.
Yes. I always wanted to have a song which is like a little bit sounding like rock and a little bit like Rai music also. And it's kind of Rai rock music, spirit of Rai and spirit of rock. And the song is the first time that I sing in English officially. I used always to sing in English when I was young, so I could have a guitar and sing all Beatles songs or Rolling Stone or Stevie Wonder or whatever. So, but
now your songs.
Yeah. But the people know me, for my Algerian music, and I decided now to sing in English and in Arabic. So, it's a mixture. And the mask is it's because the theme is like about each person is wearing a lot of masks, So we always wear a mask, whether you are in front of your friend or your husband or your wife or your father or your teacher or your chief, So and it's difficult to be yourself, really, So it's the song talks about that, that you should be yourself, and you will get your public, your people, whether you are good or not. There are a lot of let's say not good people for me or for you, but everything is relative. What is good, what is not good. And even if you are a good person, if you are a good person, you will meet the people who are like in harmony with you. And if you're a bad person, you have also friends, like you. So the song is about that, and the refrain is in English.
So why did you decide to do the music video in Al Bayt province in Algeria?
Because it's a very nice place. In Brezina, it's called Brezina. It's like the Nevada. It looks like it's like the Algerian Nevada a little bit, and the song is like a little bit spiritual, so it was for us North African people, when you see the desert and the how you say the Sahara, I mean, it's just it's I find it good to the lyrics, to be there.
To the theme of the song.
To the theme, exactly, to the theme of the song, and it's like completely crazy because a little bit rock, and then you see the desert. That's nothing to do with it, and it's like when you wear a mask in your life. You are a person. You are perhaps a very happy person, but you have a colleague at work or something who is like bad to you, so you try your best to be bad also, but you are not a bad person, so it's like the song is like the place we choose a little bit, and the clothes I had also, so yes.
So it talks about the controversies of the human being?
Yes, exactly, because we are like controversial, all of us,
Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy in what we say, what we do, what we are really, So take off the mask that's on your face, and the world will be a better place.
Take off the mask that's on your face, and get yourself you can embrace. I'll take the mask off of my face, the world will be a better place.
Is it true that you play the guitar upside down?
Yes, I play it upside down because I didn't know, and nobody told me that I should play it the way it should be played, you know. Because normally, when my uncle brought me this guitar, you know, he has gone to a shop, you know, and said, I need a guitar for my nephew, you know. So they say, this guitar is great, you know. And of course, a right-handed guitar, because they would never think I have to give him a left-handed guitar, you know.
And you are left-handed, right?
I am left-handed, and I play guitar right-handed, so I play 2 times upside down. One time because I played the other way around, and the second, the strings should be reversed, you know. And I didn't do it, so I really play completely wrong. But as I said before, as long as you don't know that something is forbidden, it's allowed.
Too bad that you don't have your guitar with you today.
Yes.
We wanted to see that.
Yes.
So now if I ask you about one of your songs that you know all Algerians love, can you guess what would that song be? Which song?
Probably Étoile Filante, Shooting
Yes.
Star,
Yeah.
Jilali Dawi.
Yeah. What's the secret of this song, by the way?
The only secret is if ever it's a secret, you know, if it's a secret, it's the love to what you do in your life, you know. So I love what I do, and I don't think too much of what people could think, or I don't think too much about money or success. I just do what I love, and you find your people. It's like the mask. You know, if you are yourself, you know, you are what you think you are. You know, you are what you think you are. You are the reflection of your thoughts. So there is no secret. I just made it in a moment where I needed to make it, and it worked. You know, I had the chance that it worked, and yes, I'm happy.
We've been happy to listen to this song for
Yes.
decades. It's been a hit for decades.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything you want to add now that we come to the end of our interview?
I started to have like Instagram, and taking more care of it, and try to post some stuff, and Facebook and YouTube. Of course, on YouTube I put my new songs. So if someone wants to hear my new songs, they are now all on YouTube, because in this modern world we don't need any more like CDs like before, you know, or vinyls or whatever. So every time when I compose a song, I go to the studio, I make the audio of it, and then I try to make a video clip if it's possible, and put it on YouTube. Jamal Laroussi YouTube account, or Instagram is also Jamal Laroussi, and Facebook also Jamal Laroussi.
So Jamal Laroussi, an Algerian singer, composer, songwriter, and guitar player. It's been an honor to enjoy this talk with you, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation and being with us for the first time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
À chaque fois que je pense à elle, la plaie revit et ça fait mal. Tout à coup s'éteint le soleil, sans abri tout devient fatal. Oh mon Dieu comme elle était belle, en la voyant tout devenait pâle. Étoile filante.